First, I would like to thank my friend Juan for producing the guitar track you hear on this video and in my future videos. Juan is a good friend and a talented guitarist and an artist of sorts, so if you look below in the video description, there is a link to his YouTube page. Yes, Juan is also a fellow YouTuber. Man, I hope he forgives me for calling him a YouTuber. And maybe if you're lucky, or for a nominal fee, he'll produce a guitar track just for you. So thanks, Juan, and now to our feature presentation. If you've decided to teach English in Korea, you're going to have to face the Korean Consulate. And I say that like it's really dramatic, but it really isn't. I would go on the internet and do a search for the nearest Korean consulate to you. Hopefully, you live close to a Korean consulate. And if there isn't one close to you, then you're going to have to make a trip at some point. Usually after you accept a job and have a signed contract, you're going to have to go to the Korean consulate. Alright, some of the things that you're going to need. Obviously, you need everything that you needed with your application to take with you to the Korean consulate or to send to the Korean consulate before your appointment. Things like your resume, your self-health check form, the signed contract from the school. Right, you're going to need your passport. You're going to need a transcript from your college. You don't have your diploma because it's probably going to be in Korea. You might have to provide a copy of your diploma. So I would always say make a copy of everything before you mail it away. You're going to send all that to the Korean consulate at least a week before your appointment. Then you email them or call them and you make an appointment to meet with them. So on the day of your appointment, whatever arrangements you make to go to the city or wherever the Korean consulate is, I would tell you what to wear, but it really isn't that formal. I overdressed. I wore a shirt and tie. You do want to treat it like it's a job interview. Obviously you have to take it serious and you have to be prepared with just some basic answers to some pretty simple questions. You're going to be asked, why do you want to go to Korea? Have you ever worked with children or taught English before? What experience do you have? What would you like to do in your free time in Korea? How long would you like to stay in Korea? It's nothing intimidating. Whoever is interviewing you might actually just like to have a conversation with you because you're basically on your way to Korea. You have a signed contract and everything. But this is a good time to be curious. You can ask questions about Korea. Do a little bit of research about Korea on the internet so you can talk a little bit about things that you're looking forward to seeing or food that you're looking forward to trying. They're very impressed if you actually show interest in learning the language, so that's a good idea. When I went, mine was in Atlanta, and I live in Florida, and it was actually a long drive. I mean, it was like 8-hour drive, and I made some stops in between, and I visited some people, so I made a trip out of it, but it was way out of the way. I went to Atlanta, and I sat with 4 other candidates. So there was 5 of us. The person who interviewed us, he was running a little late, so we were sitting there around a big boardroom table, a big rectangle table, and we're sitting there twiddling our thumbs waiting. The gentleman came in and sat down, and he had basically a packet for each of us with all of our paperwork, all the things that I've mentioned before. And he basically went through each packet, and he said that he was kind of in a hurry, he didn't have a lot of time. He really only had time to ask us each a question, one question. So we were kind of relieved, it was just going to go by real quick. So he asked some of those questions, one to each person, and then when he got to me, he asked me how long do I plan on staying in Korea, would I plan on staying for 2 years. And I honestly told him that, I said if I enjoyed it, I definitely wanted to stay for 2 years, because I didn't have too much going on in the States. And if I really liked it, then why not? Stay. And then he looked at my resume, he saw that I speak German too. He was asking me, oh, you speak German? He was asking me about that. And I was joking with him. I said, I don't know how useful my German will be in Korea. And a funny thing is, I have met a couple Koreans here that do speak German. So I have been talking a little bit of English, talking a little bit of German with them. And pretty soon I'll be able to speak a little Korean with them too. So that was it. I went to Atlanta. I spent a whole 2 days going to and from Atlanta for a 5-minute interview. But when the interview was done, I was able to get my visa. I got my E2 visa, and it looks like this. All they do is they take your passport, and they just put this sticker on that says you have a visa to go to Korea. You have to wait a day. If you want to stay or come back and pick up your passport with your visa the next day, you can do that. I didn't want that option. I didn't have it. I went back home, then they mail it back to you. You have to leave a self-addressed stamped envelope. I left a priority mail envelope there, and I got it back in like 5 days. So you get it back really quickly. So that's basically it with the Korean consulate. It's not really that big of a deal. Just prepare like it's a job interview. Get all your paperwork there ahead of time. I actually had to call my college and have them mail a transcript to the consulate. I thought that would be quicker than having them mail it to me, than me mailing it to the consulate. It took 10 days to get there. I ordered it on a Monday, hoping it would be there on Thursday for my appointment, which was on Monday. When I got there on Monday, it hadn't even arrived yet. They got it on Tuesday. I did the interview anyway, and then they did the paperwork after my interview. But keep in mind, get that stuff in ahead of time, so when you get there, it's smooth sailing and you get your visa a couple days later. So hope that helps. Talk to you later.